I know that you travel a ton, and I remember you took your family abroad literally for a year.
Yeah.
Traveled around. So where did you go? What did you do? And how the heck did you make that work with running a business? Because again, every businessman looks and says, I can't get away for more than a week. How'd this guy do it for a year?
Yeah. So again, I'm kind of lifestyle first. And so about 10 years ago, actually, my brother that lives here and I both got airline benefits. And thank goodness my wife doesn't like to travel. But so we'd go on these trips and I just wouldn't tell my office. And so they would call me up and Patagonia or Switzerland or whatnot, and you know, they're, what do you like? And so they would get scared, like, hey, this business is going to fail. So they you know, really stepped up, and it's kind of the it's kind of the abdication model of of management.
So you wouldn't tell them that you were gone?
I wouldn't tell them I was gone because I wasn't in the office too much.
Yeah, okay.
Know, anyway, so
you're in Patagonia and they think you're here sitting in the back? Okay.
Yeah. So when they find out I'm gone, they're like, oh, okay, kind of. So I just kind of weaned them off me. Yeah. And so, but it was still kind of a small company. Yeah. And so my wife and I like to travel. We, when we were first married, we lived in China for a year and like to get out. And so we're like, well, if we could grow the business and, you know, before our oldest gets into high school, it'd be pretty cool to do, you know, take off a year and be with the family. And we just think the culture of the family would be so strong. Yeah. And so we worked towards that. And what we did is a lot of actually home exchanges. And so we reached out to people in Europe or Thailand or whatnot and seeing. And we were going to start with a around the world ticket that you can get, but my wife has an aversion to cold, so we knew that we wanted to be in New Zealand for their summer, January, February. Yep. And so the idea was, hey, we'll go to Europe, and we'll kind of cruise around Europe. So we actually flew in, you know, picked up a Volvo, you know, we order it from the factory, you can pick it up, and usually people are doing it for like 2 weeks, and we're like, okay, we want insurance for 5 months. Okay. And so we just basically started from the north and endless summer, just kind of worked our way to Italy. And then in December, I have family in Switzerland, so we spent some time with them before we went back, and then came back to Hawaii for Christmas, and then did the whole New Zealand thing for a couple of months, and then finished up in Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, Japan.
So you just chased the sun south,
pretty
effectively.
much. Yeah.
And so you were traveling with your wife and your 3 children, and what year was this?
This is 2016, 2017. Okay. So for that school year.
So your daughter was what, like 4?
Yeah. And she was a trooper, and just us homeschooling them, you know, homeschooling.
So literally,
them.
You're driving around the Volvo, like homeschooling them in the back.
Yeah.
And so, and from a work perspective, what did you have to do?
Not a lot. From pretty much the start, my termite manager was compensated on how well his business did. So from the net. Yeah. And so if he's doing well, then I'm doing well, you know. And he's always motivated in that way, and a great guy anyway. And then my general manager, Ashley, just kind of took care of everything else, and she had been with me for a lot of years, and some other longtime employees that knew the drill, and we just kind of worked into it. Yeah. And so it was more when I got back, it's like, well, okay, I'm here, I can jump in or not. And that's when, you know, we started learning more about EOS and putting some systems together and some actual meetings and some structure there that's really helped us from that point really just crank.
Now, when you left for a year, did you tell them you left? Or at least did you tell them before you left?
I did tell them before I left.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a separate bank account that our termite manager could write checks on.
I mean, what was that like? Did you go in there and say, guys, I don't do anything anyway, so you're not going to miss me, or?
Pretty much.
No?
No.
No panic?
Oh. I mean, YOLO. Like,
yeah.
the kids are only young once, and you know, this is kind of crossing our fingers, but financially it was doable, again, just because people want to come stay in Hawaii for weeks at a time. And so to be able to swap houses and that sort of thing, that was pretty neat.